On Saturday, as you may have heard, Elon Musk, unelected, unconfirmed, unvetted, no FBI background checks, running a fake, unconstitutional, and illegal fake agency. I said fake twice because it's so fake. Posted on Twitter, essentially announcing that all federal employees would soon be treated like children. How? Well, they were going to be receiving an email asking them to report their 5 biggest accomplishments from the previous week. As I said, infantilizing, isn't it? Uh, the tweet also ended with a warning that a failure to respond to this absurdity could yet result in resignation. Check out this clip.
Chaos and confusion across the federal government. Elon Musk now downplaying the ultimatum he issued to federal workers: explain what you've done or resign. Musk initially posting on X, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Those emails already going out. Sources tell ABC they ask employees to list 5 bullet points of what they've accomplished in the last week. The deadline to respond is tomorrow night. Several hours later, Musk posting, "The bar is very low here. An email with some bullet points that make any sense at all is acceptable." Sources tell ABC top officials at the White House were caught off guard, and many federal agencies, from the State Department to NASA, are urging employees to hold off responding.
Yeah. Chaos, confusion, those are the watchwords. And just in case you were wondering, that chainsaw he's wielding is also metaphorical. So, turns out that, oh, doesn't turn out, we knew this because this has always been the case. Many federal employees are protected, or at least they were, by civil service rules that prevent them from being terminated without cause. Like there's a whole process you need to go through in order to fire a federal employee. Of course, Donald has been trying to upend this by instating Schedule F, which allows the federal government to fire civil servants without cause. But that's not how it's supposed to work. The email that Musk alluded to, that was sent by the Office of Personnel Management, did not include the ultimatum to resign if you did not respond to this deeply, deeply insulting request. And the request itself seems to contradict a privacy impact assessment published by the Office of Personnel Management. It must have been a really long time ago, right? No, it was on February 5th because these people are idiots. And that memo stated that any mass email sent through a government-wide system would clearly indicate that participation was voluntary, which obviously is not what Musk said. The same email system was also used for the quote unquote fork in the road, also known as the fork in the eye deferred resignation offer. Donald did have a response on his failing social media site in his most presidential way, because we have redefined that word thanks to him. He reposted a meme of SpongeBob SquarePants, or as my daughter used to call him, Sponge Square. Since this happened, I mean, okay. First of all, Donald, keep your fucking hands off of SpongeBob, please. Please. He does not deserve this. You cannot continue to co-opt these things because they all hate you. Even the fucking sponge hates you. So does Patrick. Totally. Anyway, um, since this happened over the weekend, we need to catch everybody up. So we're going to look at all the fallout from this reckless, understatement, action, and much of what else has come to light over the last 24 hours. Before we dive into that, though, please take a second to like and share this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. After you subscribe, click on the bell icon, because that way you will be alerted every time new episodes drop. Okay, let's jump back in. The Department of Defense posted on Twitter advising its employees to disregard, for the time being, an email requesting a list of their accomplishments. CNN reported that one DOD official stated, quote, "It is the silliest thing I've seen in 40 years and completely usurps the chain of command. That might be done elsewhere, but in the DOD, it's not done. Even how does one describe Kash Patel, who, to the great shame of this country, is FBI director? Let's just call him a deviant little Nazi. Patel told his staff also to ignore Elon's request. Ooh, how does that rush of power feel, you little man? Um, and he said, quote, FBI personnel may have received an email from OPM requesting information. The FBI, through the office of the director, is in charge of all of our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with FBI procedures. When and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. For now, please pause any responses, unquote. Wow, look at you doing the accidentally right thing for once. Of course, Patel is not the only member of the fascist Republican Party stepping up to Elon. Guys, it's really not that hard. He's an idiot. And they're signaling, which signals that there may be more MAGA infighting. I think we're all here for that. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska, spoke out against the demand as a quote unquote absurd weekend email. And she further stated, quote, if Elon Musk truly wants to understand what federal workers accomplished over the past week, he should get to know each department and agency and learn about the jobs he's trying to cut, unquote. Well, really? First of all, so far, nobody's complying. The DOJ also informed its employees that they do not have to respond to this email. Good, good. Because remember, a lot of these people, maybe most of them at this point, are Donald's appointees. So the fact that they're standing up to this, now, granted, it's a pretty low bar because it is so deeply absurd. So deeply absurd. But still, like the fact that we weren't sure just shows you how incredibly tenuous everything is right now. So let's take a look at how Elon Musk is taking all of this. At 5:30 this morning, he posted the following quote, those who do not take this email seriously will soon be furthering their career elsewhere. Um, so is he still holding his breath? Yeah. Uh-huh. Good try, Elon. And honestly, the thing that I objected to about Markowski's tweet, and listen, we can expect nothing from that person, is that she's asking Elon to get to know the departments and agencies that he's trying to cut. No, get the fuck out of our government. He has no right to be there. Stop, stop catering to this maniac for Christ's sakes. As I said, see above. It's not that hard. He's a moron with no actual authority. Moving on, analysts at CNBC over the weekend highlighted the potential dangers of DOGE's reckless move. Take a look at this.
You wouldn't want FBI secrets and State Department secrets in emails that then could be widely circulated. Will their incompetence be their undoing?
I think so. Look, these guys don't really know what's going on. They think they're cute. They think they're trolling. They think that this is an exercise in government by, meme. And they think it's a real funny joke that these emails are being circulated and they're getting out there. And really, I think their aim is just to belittle federal workers. They come at this from the idea that these men and women who work in the FBI, who have given their lives of service to this country, are just sitting around doing nothing, that they aren't actually serving the country. That's how they think about these people that are serving our country. It's disgusting, quite frankly. It's indignant. It's insulting. And, federal workers, I don't know how they're going to really step through this, honestly. I feel for them. I don't know how you respond to an email like that. And certainly, to your point, the threat to classified information leaking out. I mean, you basically would have to just say, one, redacted, two, redacted. I mean, you'd have to redact everything you're working on for some of these people. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yes, because much of this stuff is protected both by privilege and confidentiality. I mean, and they're classified. It's classified material. You can't just put in some friggin' email that's going to be sent to millions of people. And yes, It is probably true because Elon Musk and people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump sit around doing nothing all day except thinking about ways to make themselves feel better about their pathetic lives while hurting other people. Yeah, they probably do think that everybody else is in the same boat. So, no, no, our federal employees are not sitting around all day doing nothing, waiting to be told by Elon Musk what they should or should not do. You know what they were doing this morning, though? Nothing. Why? Because they had to wait to be told how to proceed with this insanity. Because they all thought, hey, if I don't respond to this by midnight tonight, or 11:59 p.m., I should say, they actually believed there was a possibility they would be forced to resign. That's that's what's going on here. So yes, the reason department heads don't want their employees responding to this email is that in doing so, they would be sending they would be sending classified information via email laid out in 5 bullet points, which, makes it easier for anybody who's interested in hearing our secrets to read them because they're just perfectly well organized for them. Uh, so there's no assurance that these emails are secure. This is not the first time that something like this. Well, it's the first time something like this has happened, but there's not the first time that something like this has happened in the sense of some idiot deciding that doing something reckless to our government is going to work out well for anybody. Donald's purge, for example, just blew the cover off of some of America's spies. See, in order to comply with his executive order to cut jobs, the CIA sent an unclassified email. It's sort of something the CIA should know better not to do, right? To the White House, listing new hires by first name and last initial. Ooh, that'll trick them. This includes officers preparing for undercover assignments. I am not a spy. I don't really know much of anything about the CIA, but I'm pretty sure that undercover agents should probably be identified by absolutely no identifiable characteristics. Now, the agency is scrambling to assess the damage and may have to pull agents from sensitive overseas missions, yes, to protect their lives. And meanwhile, their missions go undone, whatever they are, but I'm imagining if they're going undercover, probably important. Even worse, CIA officers embedded in U.S. embassies may be compromised, exposing past operations and jeopardizing diplomatic ties. Foreign adversaries can now connect the dots, track past agents, and unravel intelligence networks. That sounds really bad. For instance, many names listed were young analysts working on China operations under a probation period, and now officials are concerned that their identities have been compromised and exposed to Chinese hackers. In furthering dissolving the trust, evidence surfaced over the weekend of how easily compromised DOGE employees, the people responsible for housing all of this information, are. Why, I will never understand. These are very compromised, unqualified, incompetent, dangerous because of those things, and also dangerous because of the agenda they have. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it. Individuals. I'll use that word that starts with an IN. Edward Christine, a 19-year-old former intern, 19-year-old, woo, that makes me feel secure. Former intern at a cybersecurity firm, Path Network, was initially suspected of leaking proprietary data to a competitor, leading to a dispute over whether he should retain his position. He was allowed to stay at the company. Is that something that's a dispute? That sounds like a no-brainer to me. But again, what do I know? A heated dispute between two executives at the Arizona-based cybersecurity firm on a recorded call led to this exchange. Let's listen.
He simply has to, not be exposed to anything that's really sensitive. Don't give him access to the XCP code. Period. He can play with the switches and stuff all he wants.
To a 17-year-old who we can't pursue legally. Are you
not at all? Not at all. I'm not saying that we risk the entire network. I don't know where you're getting that.
They're freaking out in my DMs that, why the is Edward back when Marshall said he was leaking stuff and blah, blah, blah,
Just say that he apologized. He said it won't happen again, and he's
young and
migrating. He's migrating everything off of it. He's a young guy, and He's given us his word he won't do it again.
Well,
He can watch. He can learn. It's an internship, right? At the end of the day, do we really want this guy just running around, running amok, access to the network in the past and everything as an enemy, or do we want more allies?
Yeah. Let's give this guy who leaked classified information a second chance. That to me is like a sort of a perfect crystallization of why we're here. These fucking idiots who just have no moral code, who have no sense of decency, who have no sense of propriety. They have no sense of what should be done or how it should be done or why it should be done that way, because quite honestly, I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. But it is not the first time somebody who has leaked or stolen classified information was given a second chance. Yeah, there was a whole case about it. Some traitor to the United States of America stole tens of thousands of pages of classified documents and wouldn't return them, which is illegal because he wasn't in the Oval Office anymore. So you know what happened? Yeah, he got reelected or elected, and he's largely responsible for everything that's happening right now. Good job. Anyway, now Corstein, who's known by, you know what? I'm not going to say that because who cares what he calls himself? He's pathetic. He's now a senior advisor at DOGE. His lack of experience and controversial past have raised serious concerns about giving him access to sensitive government data, including Homeland Security and cybersecurity information. His behavior path network was exposed through Discord chat screenshots and secretly recorded company meetings posted online by disgruntled employees, some claiming the company owed them money. In one meeting before Corstein began his internship, a drunk employee threatened coworkers, punched holes in the wall, and later showed off $100 bills scattered on the floor. Why? I don't know. And then offered an impromptu self-evaluation, which will help you understand why Musk hired him. He said, quote, "All I can say is I'm a fucking god. I'm a fucking alpha." Yep. That's America now. So as Donald and Elon are threatening mass firings of qualified government workers and allowing meme lords with egregiously embarrassing nicknames to run rampant, in our stuff, by the way, not just like run rampant, like in our data, in our highly sensitive personal and financial data. Who's going to fight back? Well, the workers, of course.
Attorneys for federal workers saying in a lawsuit today that Elon Musk has violated the law with his weekend demand that employees explain their accomplishments or risk being fired. Now, this is an updated lawsuit which was filed in federal court in California. It was provided to the Associated Press. The lawsuit is trying to block mass layoffs pursued by Musk and President Trump, including any connected to the email distributed by the Office of Personnel Management on Saturday. The office, which functions as a human resources agency for the federal government, said employees needed to detail 5 things that they did last week by the end of the day today, stating, quote, "No OMP rule, regulation, policy, or program has ever in United States history purported to require all federal workers to submit reports to OPM." This was filed on behalf of unions, businesses, and veterans and conservation groups, calling the threat of mass firings, quote, "one of the most massive employment frauds in the history of this country."
We will be seeing more of this, and good for you guys. Keep it up. I just quickly want to make sure that we understand what this is not about. This is not about saving taxpayers' money. This is not about cutting down on the bureaucracy or helping Americans in any way whatsoever. It's for one simple reason. Here's political science professor Corey Betschneider summing it up perfectly in his latest appearance on CNBC. Take a look.
It is so fundamental that they survive this assault on democracy. We're looking for heroes
in this moment. And these civil servants who are really charged with carrying out the laws passed by the American people, by the way, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, they are on the front lines of trying to ensure that these laws will be respected and that they won't be run over by a wannabe authoritarian. And let's add it all up. There's going to be statement after statement, email after email, executive order after executive order, trying to wear them down, trying to destroy what Trump is calling the bureaucracy, what is really our law enforcement branch. And yet what they've got to do is see this for what it is, that when you add all these assaults up, it really is an attempted coup. It's not a violent coup, of course, but there are different kinds of coups. Political scientists talk about auto coups. And what an auto coup is when the president of the United States or a person in power tries to seize and rearrange the law so that it only serves that person. So it only serves Trump. And that's what's going on here, this attempted auto coup. How do you prevent it? You need those who are charged, the more than 2 million people in the executive branch, to carry out the law, to refuse to go along with illegal orders and an attempt to really destroy the system of American government, not just what Trump calls the bureaucracy.
Exactly. This is an auto coup, a bloodless coup that is the culmination of that which was the seeds of which were planted on January 6th, 2021. But people are standing up. We need to hang on to that, and we need to support them in every way we can. And you know what else? We need to stand up too.
Please take a second and like and share this video. Be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.